This is Universal Heritage Television Niger. My name is Afam Echi. We are bringing you once again our face-to-face program. And in this package, we have as our guest a pharmacist by name Emereonye. He's many things rolled into one. He's a writer, he's a publisher, he's a rights activist. And on top of his pharmaceutical practice, he's also a herbalist. I hope I'm right to describe you. So.
Yeah, you're right.
You are welcome to our program.
It's my pleasure.
Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. In this edition of our face-to-face program, our guest is going to give us an insight into his pharmaceutical practice with focus on herbal medicine. Livy, I want to ask you how long you have functioned as a pharmacist.
It's my pleasure being at your program, and I appreciate you for the good work you are doing. And like Oliver Twist, we always ask for more.
Okay.
I give you a thumb up, and I say continue with the good work you are doing. Yeah, as a pharmacist, I'm a pharmacist by profession.
Okay.
And just as you said in the introduction, I mean different things to different people. So I don't lay emphasis on an area because one, it depends on the audience.
Yeah.
But I'm a pharmacist by profession.
Okay.
And an integrative healthcare practitioner. By integrative healthcare, I mean I practice both conventional medicine, natural medicine, and other things. Being a pharmacist, I'm well equipped and trying to be an integrated pharmacist. I have a degree in public health and complementary and alternative medicine. Apart from being a pharmacist with my postgraduate studies, I've practiced pharmacy for over 2 decades now.
Okay. Over 2 decades?
Over 2 decades, yeah, that's over 20 years. I graduated as a pharmacist in the year 2002.
Okay.
I have my postgraduate studies, and I've ventured into virtually every facet of pharmacy practice. And to his glory, we have a very good success story to tell.
Okay.
In order to expand and explore pharmacy the more, I ventured into natural medicine. When people talk about traditional medicine, maybe they just give it more like a colloquial name.
Okay. Just hold on a little while. We'll come to that. It will be interesting to know why you choose to practice pharmacy. You know, you've done 2 decades and more. And of all the professions, you know, of all the other activities, why is it that you chose to do pharmacy? What motivated you into the profession?
No, I practice pharmacy because I'm a pharmacist. And if you look at it...
No, why did you choose to be a pharmacist instead of an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor?
Yeah, you know, like we have a career guidance.
Okay.
And then our background matters a lot. I grew up in a drug marketing family. My family, my guardian, they're into pharmaceutical businesses.
Okay.
And you know, like in Igbo lands, this continuity, family business.
Yeah.
If you look at entrepreneurship, it's either this situation of oftentimes entrepreneurs born or are they made, just like a case of the egg and the chicken.
Okay.
So some entrepreneurs are made and some are born into it. So if you look at pharmacy practice, I will say that I'm a born pharmacist.
Okay.
I grew up in a pharmacy business that my family is into pharmacy. My guardian precisely is into pharmaceutical business. And there was a time that this urge that if you are not a pharmacist or you don't have a pharmacy director, you will not be allowed to do some practices.
Really?
That was actually what motivated my guardian to ask me to go and study pharmacy. I was in the University of Calabar before I left. And I came out and I went and studied pharmacy.
Before you left, you were already studying something else?
Yeah, I've been to some distance, but that's a story for another day. So for me, to know the importance of that pharmacy in that family,
okay,
I have to come out and study the pharmacy.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, studying pharmacy, I don't have any mistake. It's just like a good mind.
No regret.
No, there's no regret. When you study pharmacy, it's like you have an international passport. So it depends on what you want to do with it. You can go to all places with pharmacy. You can achieve all sorts of things with pharmacy. And if you don't know how to use it, it becomes redundant and useless. So pharmacy is just like a international passport. And if you look at pharmacy as a course, a profession, there was this word by Jeff Kennedy, said that without drug, the health profession has no substance.
Without drug?
The health profession has no substance.
Can you break it down?
Come back closer home. If you go to hospital and after sort of analysis and diagnosis, they write all sorts of stories and all these things. At the end of the day, what will give you joy is when you go to pharmacy and you're given that substance, that therapeutic substance, that will be able to address your case.
Okay.
If after spending the whole money, we are not given any substance, you've not done anything.
Yeah.
So
it makes
the
sense.
place of pharmacy in the healthcare practice, in the health profession, is indispensable one.
Okay. Now, these 2 decades, can you guide us into your career path? What have you done after graduation? Have you worked in a public organization, or you've been on your own? Or have you roved from one point to the other to where you are now?
Yeah, it's a continuum of adventure.
Okay.
We move from one place to the other. And pharmacy, with the peculiarity of pharmacy being a healthcare profession, when you finish from pharmacy, you have to do internship. That internship most often is done in the hospital setting. There are some private settings, but it depends on their industries where you can do so. But that opportunity is something that you have an opportunity to be trained and mentored by senior pharmacists. I did my internship at the Federal Ministry of Health. And after that, I served in Bayelsa State. My service was in the hospital, General Hospital, that's the state. So transiting from federal to state. Good enough, I was the best copper in Bayelsa State, and I was given automatic employment. But when I got the employment letter, it was more like a contract. So that's another story, with the peculiarity of our contract and all this stuff. I stayed there briefly, and I left. Before I left, I gained employment again at the Federal Medical Center. I worked from state, that's from federal to state, state back to federal, all of them in the hospital setting. I stayed there briefly for like 6 months. Then because of family pressure, some challenges, I have to leave and I exit the organized government setting. I worked with Iris Medical Foundation. Iris Medical Foundation that was manned by Professor Paul Oje, one of the vocal voices about natural medicine. In fact, people called him the human mechanic. He was into natural medicine, and he sold me and treated me more like his son. So from that, I developed the curiosity. But while I was in school anyway, I was the PANS president, and the process of being PANS president, we were soliciting for funds.
PANS?
Yeah. PANS is the Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria Students. I was the president in my school. In the process, we were going for fundraising. I met Elizabeth Kafaru, and in her magnanimity, she gave me some money.
Elizabeth
Kafaru. I'm just coming to tell you about my story.
Yeah, I want to.
Elizabeth Kafaru. She was one of the people that put natural medicine to the limelight in Nigeria. So I was with her. We had some relationship. In the process, I met Professor Paul Oje. Both are late. That's Iris Medical Foundation too. He equally gave me a lot of money. In fact, he embraced me like his son. So anytime I come to Lagos to meet him, there was never a time I met him as a student that he would not give me money. At a stage, I was so passionate. So when he was a bit indispensed, he was sick. That was when I was with the federal government establishment, and he told me that he was sick. I have to leave to just apply for leave and all this stuff. I got there, and I said after this, and I decided to quit the government setting, and that was more like a turning point. I said I worked with him briefly. When I got married and all this stuff, I left the paid job and become an entrepreneur. I started my community pharmacy, and I've made some contact, I've made some this now. Without mincing word, I was a multi-millionaire as an undergraduate. I published my Facebook as an undergraduate, and Rota Crutcher was the chief launcher. Then I think he gave me about 50,000 to launch that book. That was in the year 2000. The same Iris Medical Foundation, led Professor Oje was the chairman. I made much money. In fact, then I published my second book as an intern. I published the third one as a copper, and I was the best copper.
All of them are focused on...
No, I write differently. You know, like one pharmacy, I don't know how to put it. Writing is more like a passion to me. I've published about 12 books, and all of them cut across different cadres of human endeavor. I've written prose, I've written a poet. That was one of what made me to meet Soyinka then. We went for LNG award. So that's my story. Then pharmaceutically, when I started with the community practice, and by stroke of fate, I won a UN award.
You win.
Yeah, that was good luck, Jonathan. And then there was this UN grant. So it was more like a turning point with their support and all this stuff and the exposure. The UN award, the program, the training was more like having an MBA in entrepreneurship. It was well organized with the grant. So after that, we started expanding. We ventured into importation. All of a sudden, good luck left office. So many things happened.
Yeah.
The issue of dollar subsidy and discriminatory policies came up. You cannot even be able, if you are not big enough that you have that finances, you cannot muster courage to go into importation. And if you look at it, to import, when you bring in those products, if you don't have the structure, you suffer to bring in products, you suffer to distribute it. People you gave cannot pay you. So as I speak with you now, we stopped importation almost 5 to 10 years ago. And people are still owing us. So when I look at all those things, and the issue of Buhari's presidency and all this stuff, there are a lot of challenges with the economy and all this stuff, we stopped importation. Stopping importation, we have to diversify and look into other things. So during that process, I have to look inward and go back.
What does looking inward mean? Looking
inward is like, it's like Nigeria is just a big country, and wherever there are human heads, that's money.
Okay.
The population in Nigeria is blessing in disguise. If you look at it, you look inward and say, what is it that every household needs in Nigeria? Just look at 2 or 3 things or 4 things. If you can provide solution to any problem, you become a multimillionaire. Entrepreneurship is just like taking business risk in anticipation for profit. So when I look at it, and I weigh so many other things, and I practice in a hostile environment, people read different meanings to your existence. And being an activist, there are some things you say that people will not like, especially if you are not looking for political
appointment,
for political position, or being politically correct. You see it and say that is the best. I was not called for such, so I say it the way it is. So that brings me against so many issues, and along the line, I find myself where I am today. It was more like a turning point to practice.
Ruby, you see, you seem to talk more about herbal remedies, herbal medicine. Now, in Nigeria today, as we speak, so many people demonize natural medicine for reasons best known to them. People prefer orthodox medicine. And I want to ask, is it to say that there is no value in our medicine? We hear people talk about Indian medicine, Chinese medicine, and all the others in the world. They derive value from their natural herbs. So in our own case, why do we have to abandon our natural herbs, from which these other orthodox medicines are produced?
Thank you very much. It's a very big question, and I have to be very careful with the response I give you. I'm a pharmacist by profession. And I studied a story about the indispensability about pharmacists. And without drug, the health substance has no value. But bringing about the issue, let me make a quote about the Prince of Wales. He was addressing the medical association, and he told them something, that today's convention may become tomorrow's unorthodoxy. One, by that word, you look at the convention. If you look at orthodox medicine, that is conventional medicine. If you look at natural medicine, that is the unorthodoxy he was referring at. If care is not taken, today's convention, the nearest future will become tomorrow's unorthodoxy. That's a very big question. Pharmacy is a good mind, as I said earlier. And if I have maybe a way of coming back to look at courses to study, if I have option, I will still study pharmacy. But just as I told you, I cannot be a pharmacist and practice pharmacy alone and achieve and do what I do. I dabble into so many things, all for the good of humanity. Now, herbal medicine, if you look at pharmacy, it's an integrative profession. It cuts across. It's a healthcare profession. It's a physical science. It's a medical science. Whatever area you look at it. Pharmacy is like, when we are pharmacy school, most of us seems or we look quiet. People may think as if we are born again. It's not. It's the stress. You do practicals from Monday to Sunday. You must report those things. You have to work. In pharmacy, at 500 level, you may be advised to withdraw. To see the import of pharmacy, 0.00.5% can wipe up a generation. You're making a calculation. So if you are not mentally stable, and you will not study pharmacy. If you are not mentally stable, you cannot practice pharmacy. Imagine a scenario that somebody can come, if there's an error, which of course error happens in every human endeavor. If you go to hospital and there's an issue, maybe an individual will die. If there's a case of production error in a batch, a whole generation or a whole set will wipe out. So pharmacy is a case that deals with precision and accuracy. That's one. Natural medicine or herbal medicine, you're talking about being demonized. People demonize natural medicine or herbal medicine or Nigerian medicine out of ignorance. And you know, it's a very bad issue that people argue from point of ignorance. What one is ignorant of remains a mystery. If you look at pharmacy, there are, in fact, over 80, let's say 50% of some of the pharmaceutical products that derive from herbal products. And if you look at nature, in the marriage of nature, photosynthesis, if let's talk a little science, this is where plants manufacture water and carbohydrate for the human use. They use carbohydrate and what again, sunlight to produce carbohydrate and oxygen. They use carbohydrate, sunlight, and this to produce, that's photosynthesis. That's the middle part. If you look at it, people will be telling you we have 2 kingdoms. I make bold to say that we have 3 kingdoms. We have animal kingdom, we have plant kingdom, and we have the mineral kingdom. Without plants, it's only plant that can take the mineral kingdom to the animal kingdom. What am I trying to say? In the ingenuity of photosynthesis, God makes that marriage possible. Now, most of the products we look, if you look at metformin, for instance, that's the common diabetic drug, is derived from plants. If you look at malaria, today we're talking about artemethyl-lumefantrine, but a pharmacist, or pharmacy, being what it is an interplay of scientific work. You manipulate, you work, you look at this product, you look at it, you extract, you modify, you do some functional group testing and make it aesthetic, available, and look at it the way it will work. Now, natural medicine, we have African traditional medicine, just as you mentioned Indian medicine, we have African traditional medicine, and I've been at the forefront agitating for recognition, and it is getting the necessary attention. We have Nigerian traditional medicine. Coming closer home, we have Igbo traditional medicine. Now, if you look at it, to give you a typical scenario, every human being uses herbs, either as culinary herbs or medicinal herb.
Every human being
uses herbs. We feed, we eat, there's nothing. Are you getting me? So now, herbal medicine is the scientific act, or is the science and act of what? Producing therapeutic molecules using plants, either plant parts or whole plants, or combination of plants. In other words, it's something that everyone uses. So people demonizing herbal medicine or what? They are doing it out of ignorance.
Now, how do you think we can integrate both orthodox medicine and natural medicine? Is it possible, and how can we combine the two to get value for? No,
the integration is already there. If you look at traditional medicine, one of the
if the integration is there, I know maybe officially by way of policy, but in practice, in action. So how can we?
Let me tell you a typical scenario. When I was introducing myself, I told you that I'm an integrative healthcare practitioner. Integrative medicine is all about, now let's have just a brief recap. According to World Health Organization, medicine is divided into 3. We have traditional medicine, what I popularly called indigenous medicine. Because to every place you go, we have traditions. And one peculiarity about traditional medicine in the definition is that the result is either explicable or inexplicable. It's either you can explain it or you cannot. So that's the peculiarity. Because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It works. Right? I'm coming there, we'll give you some typical scenarios, and it's something that you have to go and research. Then we have a CAM, that's complementary and alternative medicine. Then we have, of course, the first is orthodox medicine. That is conventional medicine, which the natural medicine practitioners call allopathic. You know, there's almost wrangling here and there. Now, the marriage between that, we have orthodox medicine, we have traditional medicine, we have complementary medicine. That's complementary and alternative medicine. That's the 3 basic divisions we have. Now, the marriage between traditional medicine and complementary and alternative medicine, that's CAM, gives birth to what? TCAM, otherwise called natural medicine. Now, the marriage between orthodox medicine and natural medicine, that is the TCAM and the traditional medicine, is what we call integrative medicine. Now, there is holistic medicine. If you look at traditional medicine, it's just like, okay, the CAM is almost about 200 therapies and remedies, and the opportunities that are there. Are you getting me? Now, integrative medicine, one peculiarity, because holistic medicine, like when you look at integration, it's like you using conventional products and traditional alternative medicine, which all of us, almost every one of us do.
Are you
getting me? there's an integration. But the question is, at what level? Let me use myself as an example. When you look at integrative medicine, the peculiarity about it is it has both evidence-based.
Okay.
Right? But if you look at the definition, that's why I'm taking the time to just tell you. Definition of traditional medicine, it must be what? Either explicable or what? Inexplicable. They have those issues. How can you measure one praying that that person gets results? He's praying and he gets results. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
We have hydrotherapy.
Yeah.
Somebody can wake up and start massaging himself with water. We have urine therapy. It may sound funny, but it's a very fantastic area of treatment.
Yeah.
So how do you measure it? People drink their urine and they get results.
Yes.
We have psychotherapy.
Yeah.
Sound on itself can do. But now natural medicine, the integrative area is talking about evidence-based. Simple evidence-based is all about what? Randomized clinical trials.
Okay.
Now, coming to myself, as a pharmacist, I have products. I've passed through the processes of registration.
Okay.
And I put up a challenge that you can do it. So if you're looking at our products, for instance, let's take malaria as an example.
Okay.
If I'm treating malaria with artemether lumefantrine as a choice, that is conventional treatment.
Yeah.
That is, but even the same artemether lumefantrine is sourced from a plant.
Okay.
The popular anti-malaria medicine, the ACT we are using today, the major component is from plants. So if I'm using that, it's part of treatment guideline.
Yeah.
It's a conventional product. If I'm not getting results, or I want to complement it with another product, I say, okay, I'm using this, I want to use agbo. You go and cook agbo and use. That agbo you are using now can either be a kind of complementary or alternative. If you're using together that anti-malaria with that agbo, give some time, it becomes what? Complementary.
Okay.
If I decide that, okay, I'm not using this conventional drug again, let me use the herbs, that becomes alternative. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
If, as a person, I decide to use my herbal products for treatment, that is my choice. That's my first line treatment. It becomes my own conventional product treatment. So if another person decides to use that product, it may become like a conventional alternative. So it's just like an interplay of words.
Okay. Okay. Now this some of these your products, you have some products in the market. I can't remember their names. Are they purely natural, sourced from natural plants or a combination from what you're explaining?
Yeah, our herbal products are purely herbal medicinal products. Okay. They're 100% herbals.
Okay.
Yes. So those ones, for instance, now we're talking about.
You have a blood tonic. You have one. We
have a lot of products. We have a lot of products, but the ones we advertise are the ones that we are going through process of regulatory assessment. Okay. At least they pass through NAFDAC. Are you getting me? So that's the ones, but we have products for virtually everything. And I keep on telling people that there's no disease case or medical condition that conventional treatment is addressing that you cannot get an alternative through natural medicine. But there are some areas that natural medicine will dabble into that conventional treatment will not.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Okay. One reason, especially those in the medical practice, discourage others from indulging in consuming some of these herbal remedies, because and some people shy away from it by giving the reason that it is difficult to determine the right quantity to consume that can remedy the situation. It might take overdose, and you see people when they present this thing that this thing can take care of this thing can take care of that, they say no, and so how do you address those issues?
That's like I told you earlier, people argue out of ignorance most often. Now, but let me give you just like a breakdown. All over the world, in Nigeria, for instance, over 80% of our people use herbal medicines or natural medicine. But let's use that word now, herbal, interchangeably with conventional, that's with alternative medicine or natural medicine. Over 80% of our people use natural medicine. Consciously and unconsciously, over 80%. There's no place, if you look at it now, one of the peculiarities of herbal medicine, when I teach natural medicine, I teach herbal medicine. Okay. And I tell people that the 4 A's of herbal medicine is one, they're accessible. Okay. They're available. They're affordable and they're acceptable. Okay. Right? Yeah. Now, if you look at a herb, let me look at, for instance, let's talk about, bitter leaf. For instance, Bitter leaf, if you assess it, bitter leaf is what we used to cook.
Yes.
If you see the soup prepared by Igbo people, the taste of bitter leaf is different. If you see the one prepared by Yoruba, the taste is different. All these things.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at bitter leaf as a medicinal herb, not as a culinary herb now that is being used, if you analyze it, you'll be amazed with what you get. The component, you may get up to 20, 30, 40 different chemical constants, and each of those constants have pharmacological effects.
On the
Now,
health.
one peculiarity about natural medicine is like, as a pharmacist, I may say, okay, we've analyzed these herbs. Look at the one that has anti-malaria effect. We look at it and extract it. If you are extracting that herb, for instance, it may not, before you get to the quantity that can produce just like a batch of this, you may go to just the whole village to cut the whole bitter leaf. So what we do is just do like functional group modification.
Okay.
Go into research. It's intensive research. If you look at it, some companies, just like Pfizer, their research, their budget for research and development in a year may be bigger than Nigeria budget. So it's not, and at times you spend billions doing research and get no results. You must be patient enough to read. But in herbal medicine now, I've talked about the aspect of using bitter leaf into what? Pharmaceutical products for conventional medical treatment and approach. Now if I'm using the same bitter leaf for natural medicine as a herbal medicine, I'm not extracting anything. I'm using the whole herbs, that bitter leaf that contain all those things there. People argue that, okay, there may be cases of toxicity.
Yeah.
Right? It's possible.
Yeah.
I said it clearly that in every profession and every human endeavor there may be errors. But one is, when the professionals are there, when they start all those things, there's what is called polymorphic mechanism of action. If you can cook bitter leaf and it didn't kill you, use it as drug, can it kill you? No. But then what matters is the dose, frequency, the process of preparation.
Yeah, that's where
Now, when you look at it now, some of the people in the because of their level of education, but then you cannot really take away from it. We are transiting from one stage to another. Now, if you pass through the process of producing a herbal product, there's a concept. You have to look at good agricultural manufacturing practice, good agricultural practice. That's GAP. You look at good manufacturing processes. At every point in time, you have to maintain high degree of what? Stability. And avoid any form of chemical, that's microbial contamination.
Okay.
If you produce those products, you're getting excellent results. For your product to pass through registration, NAFDAC will do a lot of analysis. At least there must be microbial contamination test. What level of contaminant is that? Is it the one that is tolerable or not? So now what I'm trying to put across is those people criticizing those things is either they've not been involved or not.
No, what we mean is like the rural dweller, you know, he knows that.
No. If you look at rural, you know, like one, let me use
those ones. Like if I'm in the village now and I want to use abo, I want to use bitter leaf.
No, that's one thing. Those ones that they are made, how do I put it? They are made traditional medicine practitioners.
Yeah.
If you are talking about herbal medicine, standardized herbal medicine, is a procedure.
Okay.
People selling kai on the road with bitter leaf and they just get some of the expired product, and those ones are charlatans and criminals. They are killing people, and that's what they are referring. And at times when you make a kind of extrapolated comment, you generalize, you demonize people that you're supposed to appreciate.
Okay.
Are you getting me? Yeah. Those ones you see on the road, in the morning they put kai, just like when we have a case of Ebola. Somebody said they're using salt to bath. There it becomes another thing. People research into it. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So the ones in the village, they don't know about the contamination. Somebody may defecate here and take the same whatever. You're killing yourself gradually. Yeah. There's no form of procedure to say, okay, this thing is really good for human consumption.
It's not regulated.
One thing with human being, little microbe can destroy the whole generation. Are you getting me? Epidemics is just like an outbreak. Simply because you see somebody defecating, somebody is having stooling and having diarrhea, simply because of mere contamination. Flies will be here. So those ones are not practicing herbal medicine. They are just trying to experiment. But if you're looking at professional herbalists, people that study the products, look at the side effects, look at the chemical content. Now, let me give you a typical scenario. A particular herb that we harvest now, the bitter leaf, okay, let's look at the Osimum gratissimum, Nchwangu. If you harvest Nchwangu in the morning, the essential oil we get will be different from the one you harvest in the afternoon. Are you getting me?
Yeah. Why? Because of the freshness?
No. You know, some of these things, the constant, if you look at it, if you bring the Nchwangu here now, for instance, as it's saying, it's losing the freshness. Now, the bitter leaf now, you can get a bitter leaf. Fresh bitter leaf, macerate and extract, get the juice. The result you get from that is different from the same thing you get when you do the same maceration the next day.
Okay.
When you dry those products, you're reducing the water content.
Okay.
As they're saying, so those things, you have to look at them at every stage. The herbs you're producing, are they stable?
Okay.
Has there been any case of contamination? In herbal medicine, it's a word on its own.
Okay.
And every herb is a poison.
Okay.
And nothing is poison.
Okay. You said every herb is a poison.
in herbal medicine,
yeah,
everything is poison and nothing is poison. So let's not, are you getting me?
Yes. Okay.
People talk about herb, like you see, like some of them out of ignorance, they will tell you that there's no side effects. As a pharmacist, there are a lot of side effects to herbal medicine.
Okay.
And if you are busy, some people will lose consciousness and some would have died. Some might have, in fact, some people have died as a result of abuse of herbal medicine.
Okay. Yeah. Now, let me ask you, we are coming to the end of the program. Just one more question also. Are there government policies that are supporting or encouraging herbal remedies, the use of herbs?
Yes, there are lots. You know, like when you see Nigeria, for instance, the Nigerian problem has solution on paper. And the
Nigerian problem has solution on paper.
There's no problem in Nigeria that cannot find the solution on paper. The issue is implementation. Are there government agencies regulating medical, herbal medicine?
Yes.
The answer is what?
Yes.
Yes, there are many of them at state level and federal level. And the Nigerian government, I will give them kudos. The Nigerian pharmacists, I will give them kudos. We have National Medicine Development Agency. The DG is a pharmacist. We have National Institute of Pharmacy, that's NIPRID, it's pharmacy. We have NAFDAC. All these things regulate the practice. We have Traditional Medicine Board. In fact, before Buhari left, there was this bill about natural medicine. So everyone is aware. Most of us, we are aware. If you have cases, you look at it. But the issue is like in Nigeria, you know, most of us, we try to live a first lifestyle. And where there's falsehood, a lot of things go wrong.
Okay. Okay. Finally, let me ask you, how are you able to juggle your activities as a writer? Sometimes we find you writing, holding columns in newspapers. You write always. The books you publish, how do you juggle your time as a writer, a publisher? And you play the role of an activist, you know, and fighting for people's rights, for social justice, crusading for social justice, and practicing your pharmacy. So how do you do all of that and still arrive?
Now, let me give you a quote. I may not like the quote, but there's this common quote that on my own I can do nothing, but I can do nothing through Christ that strengthens me.
Okay.
And again, in the book of John chapter 3 verse 27, it said that a man shall receive nothing except is given him from above.
Okay.
One is, I believe I'm here for a mission.
Okay.
Or for a purpose. And when I have the time, I have to do what I have to do, because if I don't, tomorrow I may not be here.
Yeah.
The bitter truth is that we all live to die. If you see it, I'm having gray hair. That's the bitter truth.
As a young man.
Yeah, you know, whether young or no matter what, but every second takes us closer to the grave. And the moment you have that consciousness that we live to die, and there's nothing will come to this earth that we go with, you begin to live right.
Okay.
Religion is just like an interplay of the mind. My best relationship, or the religion you preach, my life should be a living testimony. It will be an evangelism. So, does it make sense that I quote the Bible from morning till night and my relationship with you is zero? Have we seen God before?
No.
So the God we are seeing is between us. If we are true to ourselves, that's my major issue. So, but that's, by the way, I write because I have passion to write.
Okay.
It's like a flare.
Okay.
And I'm antithetical to any form of injustice and suppression. That makes me to be an activist.
Okay.
In Nigeria, people try to make politically correct statements. They will see evil and call it good. But I keep on telling them that there are this case of vampires. Vampires don't eat themselves, especially when they have something to eat. But when they finish eating their prey and there's nothing to eat, they feed on themselves. The evil you fail to condemn or you support today will rise up against you. And when the time comes, nobody will fight for you.
Yeah.
I write and I maintain columns, just try to educate people, to educate, to empower. If you see the whites, what makes them great and the world we are looking at today is because of that flexibility. They are liberals. When they discover anything, they share it so that there will be transference of knowledge.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, what made me draw me closer to natural medicine was my encounter with Paul Oje. He took me like his son. Some of the things I practice within my circle, they don't understand this. And when they don't, they will see as an evil genius of a growing cut. But they don't know what you've passed through.
Okay.
If I'm on a place, I'm talking about medicine, they may not understand where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I took the pen to study natural medicine. I study every day. I'm a student of nature in the first instance. And when I have an idea and inspiration, I write. I write because I'm empowered to write. If I don't have the flair, I can't kill myself. But what I do is that I'm in consonant, I'm in relationship with my God and nature. And I do that He brings me to do. That's my inspiration. But I'm not finding it easy. Because one is like, at times you look at it, does it really matter? Will you continue to do this? But because you're out, you must. There's this common saying that, in fact, the
man who is down
fears no
fall.
So, but the moment you started, if that flame is not there, you cannot scoop up.
Okay.
I dabble into politics because it's a call to serve.
Okay.
Power is a trust that should be used for the human welfare and the collective advantage of people. But in this part of the world, they see it as an avenue of making money. You reach yourself. The money you struggle to steal cannot take you to anywhere.
Okay. Livy, thank you for coming to our program.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. I hope you, next time, you can find time to be with us. And
No. We are partners in progress. And let me commend you again, once again. Whatever you're doing, continue to do.
Okay.
You may not get instant appreciation. But if you look at where you're coming from and what you have achieved, a clear conscience is the best appreciation you can get. So keep it up, sir.
Thank you so much. This is the much we can take from this program. And we have had our guests talk about the evil you are promoting today will eventually come to haunt you. He has told us, for those who are ruling us, power is not given to marginalize others, but for you to serve and make yourself a willing tool in the hand of God. He told us that in Nigeria, virtually every solution can be found on paper. And he said, natural medicine, people demonize it out of ignorance. On this, we round up the program and say, please continue to stick with Universal Heritage Television Niger. Remember to give us thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube platform. My name again is Afam Echi.